Hi guys, hello, another video for you, more content with Valve's Steam Deck. Do a bit more emulation today and showcase the magic that is Steam Input, which is incredibly versatile and very useful. And to do that, we're going to showcase Coinops Legends free. So we'll use timestamps to help you find your way around the video. They'll be in the description as well as a pinned comment below. I do need to point out that Coinops Legends free is not my own work. I cannot take credit for it. If you want to have it on your Steam Deck, then you need to join the Coinops Discord server. There you'll find the Coinops crew. So Brittany's Pears and Andy Byrne. Too many names to mention. Lots of very helpful, cool people over there. So yeah, I suggest you become a member. I'm not going to do a tutorial to show you how to install it and add the custom artwork into Steam because a guy called Rascal has already done that. What I'm going to do is showcase it, go over the controls, and we're going to talk about Steam Input. So we'll do that now. We'll go across to our gamepad icon. So by default, the template would be gamepad with joystick trackpad. I want gamepad with mouse trackpad, so I'll select that. And then we can edit the layout. We can define the controls how we see fit. So you can already see from the quick settings that I've got back grip buttons or the paddles, whatever you want to call them, on the rear of the Steam Deck. They're set up for mouse clicks as well as the P key. So I know there's going to be light gun games in this collection, and I want to use the thumb pad to aim and use these paddles to shoot. So the middle mouse click, quite often used to fire grenades off, like in Operation Wolf. So that's a useful key to have. You can see there's gyro behaviour there as well, so this will work outside of Coinops, other games you want to play. If you want to do Doom Eternal, you can get fine aim by just moving the Steam Deck. You can aim with the thumbsticks, but just get that gradual aim, just move the Steam Deck over a little bit. Remember back in the day, my friends would like almost throw the gamepad up in the air, thinking it would make them jump a little bit higher. Well, that didn't work back then, but now we've got gyro controls. You can actually have the Steam Deck move to do things. So you can play Elite Dangerous, move the Steam Deck around to look inside the cockpit of your spaceship. It's incredibly cool. So let's head into Edit Layout. We'll just focus on what we're doing for Coinops. So we can see the buttons. We do not want to tinker with the default gamepad controls because the Coinops crew are already using those for playing the games and doing other shortcuts. So we're going to leave those alone, but we will find the back grips there. So those paddles on the back, you can put what you want where you want. You don't have to copy what I've done. This is what works for me. We've explained I want to do light gun games, so I want the mouse. And we've got the P key there because that is the shortcut in the MAME emulator to pause the game. It's just kind of handy to have that available. So you can use your gear cog to bring up the options to add in or edit, rename commands. We're going to go left and we're going to go down to the trackpads because this is where things get super interesting. By default, the right trackpad will be set up as a mouse, but I've changed that. We can go into the options. You can see it can do many things, from being a D-pad to a scroll wheel, but I've selected the Radial menu. You might not know what that is from its name, but you've probably used it in games. I mentioned Doom Eternal, so in that game you can do RB. It brings up this circle, the Radial menu. 1 o'clock's your shotgun, 2 o'clock is the super shotgun, 3 o'clock is your machine gun. You use the thumbstick to select that option on the circle to quickly select your weapons. We're not going to select weapons, but we're going to define our shortcuts and then move our thumb around on the trackpad to select them. You can see the very center of the circle I've set to be the P key. This will pause. I've renamed it pause, so if someone else is playing the deck, they don't know what P would do, but the fact it says pause, they now know. We've got button 1, option 1. This is actually 2 commands. I've added one and then a second. So the first is to do the shift key on the keyboard, and the second action is to do F7. So shift and F7 together saves the state of that particular game. The next option, button 2, is just pressing F7. Loads the state of the game. So call it save game and load game, whatever makes sense to you. Option 3 just presses the tab key. This brings up the MAME settings if you want to make some changes there. Option 4 is just pressing the escape key, which will quit. Option 5 is the F3 key, which will restart the game essentially. And we've got F1, which is a memory reset. So should the game have a high score leaderboard, we can clear that memory, reset it. So there's button 7, which has no commands. We'll just do a quick demo. So we'll press A and we can use the shoulder buttons to select whether it's a gamepad, a mouse click we want, the keyboard, the number pad, or whatever. So let's do shift. So we'll go back up to button 7, back to the cog, and we can add extra command So we're going to go down. That's still saying button 7. We'll add the commands F7. So we go up. So for the shift key, we can rename it. A on here to bring up the keyboard. L2 is shift. So that was, as we said earlier, to save. R2 to enter. That's confirmed. So it's telling me if I press the X button, we can remove those commands. So there we go. So let's go back so we can actually showcase Coinops. We'll go over the controls very, very quickly. So what I would call the select or the back button on the left side of the Steam Deck between the D-pad and the thumbstick, that will quit Coinops from the main menu. The other side of the deck between the thumbstick and the X, Y, A, B buttons, we'll call that the start button. When we're on like the all games menu, doing that will add games to favourites. If we go into the favourites section, if we push start in there, it will remove the games from the favourites wheel. We can do X and B to go through the letters of the alphabet to easily find a game, because there's 685 of them. That's quite a lot of games to spin through. We can go left and right on the D-pad. So as I've gone left, we've gone into settings. We've got day and night there. It'll basically dim down the border, the overlay. If you're playing at night, you might not want it to be too bright. So you can just press A to skip through the two settings, the night mode and day mode. And then we've got the different themes that they supply. So I really like the cabinet theme. We can see the arcade cabinet. We can see its marquee, the banner that goes across the top. We've got some artwork in the background tied in with the game, as well as some wheel art. Looks pretty cool. We go down, we've got a fast theme. So rather than it being a vertical selection, it's a horizontal selection of the games. We can see these borders, this overlay, which would be the artwork around the screen, which is actually pretty cool. We've got the Legends theme, again, horizontal selection. So we've got the marquee, where we get to see the arcade cabinet. And rather than having wheel art, we're using the marquee, that banner, to select the game. We've got the spin theme, which is kind of like having the wheel art at the top, and it's horizontal selection. Vertical theme, got the wheel theme. So I like this one as well. I toss and turn between the cabinet and the wheel theme. I like the wheel art. That's what I'm used to seeing in the Hyperspin, which is like the granddaddy of front ends. So yeah, you choose what suits you. So we do right to go back. So there's all games. It's right again. So this is now the arcade selection. It's telling me 630 games there, arcade classics. We've got the consoles as well. So whether it will be the NES, the SNES, the Mega Drive, whatever they've curated, whatever they've decided to add in, these are all from those classic consoles. So we've got the favourites, as we've said in here. If we push that start button, it will actually remove games. These are ones we've added in ourselves from those other menus. So last played, even if you haven't added it as a favourite, if you've played it recently, it will show up in this menu. We've got old school there, 112 games, beat 'em ups, run and gun, the Fight Club, shoot 'em ups, racing games, sports games. I'm sure we'll find NBA Jam and stuff like that in here, perhaps. Yeah, and Hang Time, Puzzler, and we go back to settings. So let's go to all games, and I'll use the X key. I want to go back to Oscar so I can find Operation Wolf. So we'll press A. It's going to load the game for us. So remember that we did our Steam input, so I could aim with the left trackpad. And on the right side, it's going to bring up this Radial menu. So I can do the center to pause. As I put my thumb up to the top, it's save state. I can just roll my thumb around. There's load. There's the main settings. So go back to the D-pad. You can make some changes in here if you want to. Probably not advised. You can go down to escape, which is telling us we quit. We can reset. We can do a memory reset. Just go back to pause again to unpause. So we'll turn up the volume.
Operation Wolf.
Now it's going to want me to press the back button, front of the Steam Deck, to add coins. And it now wants me to push the start button to play. So I'm using my left thumb to aim and using that grip button on the right for the left click and the one below it for the middle click to do the grenades. Oh, we shot the knife, we shot it out of the way. Now yeah, I could technically plug in a mouse or use a Bluetooth mouse and aim with that, but if you're just trying to play on the go, using these thumb pads, it's doable. Try not to shoot the nurses. Oh, missed a grenade because of the reload. Hit a chopper coming in. There we go. So I can pause it, I can save where I am, come back, load it another time. Now I could use my shortcut that I've made to quit, or we can just do start select together, which will also quit, take us back into the Coinops menu. So let's go across to last played, and I'm going to find Star Wars, and we'll load this one up. So this is another example where I want to use the mouse input. So we'll do add our coin in, and it's going to be B for the trigger. Now using the thumbstick, it's going to auto center itself every time I let go, which makes aiming very difficult. It would have been the same for Operation Wolf. You can aim with a thumbstick, just good luck doing that. So we'll select easy, we'll do B. So thumbstick, I'm not going to have a good time, but with the mouse, using that trackpad, I can let go and it's not auto centering. I'm going to start the trench run. So I can still use that thumbstick to quickly move around, but if I want to fine aim, I just need to move my thumb down, get to that trackpad. I'm not going to set the highest of scores, so I want to get up because we're going to aim for that exhaust port. There we go. So start select quit. Got Streets of Rage 2 there, loved that on the Mega Drive. Of course we've got some Nintendo classics as well. So we'll point out, although the games, the controls are preset, I did notice some don't work quite right. So that's our job to report on the Discord server for Coinops. So Midnight Resistance, I can't remember whether it was 2 arcade sticks or an arcade stick and a trackball, but basically one was used to aim, one was used to move around, and it just doesn't work quite right. Hopefully they can fix that in the future. But you could always, emulate it on the Amiga or something else. If you really want to play that game, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to do it in Coinops. So we'll leave the video there, guys. Hopefully it's helped you out. Have a great day, have a great evening, whatever it is you choose to do after watching this, and as always, I'll see you when I see you next. Ciao for now.